Good morning. Couple different things going on today. Dad's gonna go to Berkey and spray beans, so I'm helping him. I'm probably gonna have to make a trip down there with some chemicals for him. Brock's gonna be here in a little bit. I've got that camera wire to put on the grain cart. I'm gonna have him work on. We're having some issues with our fuel pump. Dad's trying to fill the sprayer up before he leaves, and he can't get the pump to turn on. It just hums. I think it's probably a run capacitor or start capacitor or something. I don't know, but fortunately I have a fuel trailer full of fuel sitting in the barn, and we can get it out and fill the sprayer, so we're gonna do that. Fueling.
Welcome everybody. I hope everybody had a good 4th of July. We're back to the farm. So Nathan had to go take some chemicals down to Berkey to Mark. He's spraying down there, as I think he is. But Project Gator and grain cart. Got a new camera cable for the grain cart. We gotta fish it up through. There's a little channel that you gotta push it up through. So we'll do that, but first we're gonna work on the Gator. We just gotta take the spacers out. Can't drive up and down the corn rows, so we're gonna take them out. Shouldn't take too long. Pretty easy process here. Take the tires off, take the spacers off, put everything back on. So we'll get to it. Cleaned off a little bit of the shop floor here. Enough room to do some work. There we are, we got the Gator done. Tires are in a little bit, kind of where they're supposed to be now, not sticking out, but we're gonna work on the grain cart now. Nathan got the camera wire that we needed, so let me try the 16th wrench. We're gonna go back there. Well, it's just in the back of the shop here, but we're gonna come back here and trace the wire. It's a long one. It goes all the way from the back of the grain cart up into the cab of the tractor, so I don't know if you guys can see. It comes all the way down through there, follows that rail all the way to the back. Comes out right here where he tried to splice it. And then it goes up that, and it's that wire to go to that camera. So it's undone right there. But lots of zip ties, lots of chasing the wire all the way up there. So we'll get to it, get it done.
All right, we've got everything set up for Dad here when he gets here. He hasn't made it yet with the sprayer. So we're spraying post-emerge on beans. Let's see. Most of these beans, we're just going to use the Roundup on or Roundup and some foliar stuff. We do have one field that's got a little more sand on it, that's got some mare's tail coming. They're really small yet. We decided we're going to use some Interline, which is a generic Liberty, because our mare's tail are Roundup resistant, so this won't kill them. That stuff will. We'll probably mix those together, put both on. That'll take care of the grasses. That'll take care of everything else. And it should work really well. So I do have some AgAx products here. We've got this KSB and Architect, and we've got a field where we're going to do, there's enough for 40 acres there. We're going to do that. Also still have some Source down here. We used a little bit of this on some wheat, and we're going to use some of it on the beans. Doing some experiments for the company with actually blending the SC and the DC together, and we still have quite a bit of both of those in there. We're going to do the same thing on some beans. I'm just trying to figure out how much and where and how to do that exactly, so putting that plan together.
So we're underneath the grain cart here, just kind of showing you what I'm doing here. We fished all that wire through the back hole there, and now we're running it up this channel here. It was kind of dark, but it's got little holes here that we can zip tie and hold it in place, but that channel runs all the way up to the front of the grain cart and onto the tongue. So I'm going to keep doing this. Once we get to the tongue, I'll show you what we're doing there.
You might remember that a month or so ago we put a new roof on part of this barn. Dad's been down here working on stuff a little bit since. New fascia board and trim all the way around that he's almost done, not quite, but looks really good. He's cleaning the barn up, dressing it up really nice. We've got some painting we want to do yet, and some more steel to put on the siding, but we'll get to it one step at a time. You can see the new 2x6 along that edge there. I think he's actually going to put some soffit in there and put some lights under it like he did on our barn back at home. Not doing the steel on this side of the roof, but we do want to paint it. So we're thinking we need to power wash and check on the nails, maybe put some screws in where some of the nails are loose. Like there's one right somewhere right in there. It's popped out. And then we'll put some paint on. We do have a new ridge cap that's going to go on after we paint, and then the edge fascia cap, whatever you call that piece, that goes around the side there. So we're getting there. And then we do have new steel to put on the front side of the barn here. On this side we have white steel to go on, so we want to do that. What we really need to do is this side, the south side here, but there's a lot of steel there. It's not going to happen this summer, so might get painted. It's not going to get steel just yet.
So we got both wires fished up and fished out of the front. The new one's right here that we fished all the way through, and the old one is out there that we're still undoing as we go. But we got to go up and over the auger from on the back side to this pile up here. And once we get that done, then we're going to run it all the way through all that protective stuff and up into the cab.
I hear a sprayer. Filling. Oh, it is nasty out. Humid, hot.
So we got it all wired up. So we're gonna hop in the tractor and test it out. Nathan's not here, he's still taking chemicals down to Berkey, so if it doesn't work, we can try to troubleshoot it, but I'm pretty certain it'll work. It wasn't that hard to do. It's just, it takes some time. You gotta crawl underneath the cart, crawl all the way underneath the cart, and fish all that line up here. So we'll get the tractor, fished the auxiliary on and test it out. And wouldn't you know, there's a picture of the back door. So that wire does work, and we're all good. We're gonna cut all the tails of the zip ties off. We got a lot of zip ties, so we're just gonna clean it up a little bit and go on to the next project.
Our wheat down here looks pretty similar to the stuff back at Waldron. This is a different variety that's a little bit fuller season, and it was planted later, but heads are kinking over. It'll be ready by the time we get here. We are not coming here to combine wheat until we are done combining wheat back at Waldron, because we're going to leave the combine here when we're done with wheat harvest. I'm fairly confident we're going to start beans here. So all of the beans that we planted here are 2.2 maturities. They're all the earliest beans that we have, and they should be the first ones ready. There's no reason to drag the combine down here and take it all the way back and then bring it all the way back again when we can just leave it here. We've got the barn space to keep it in. It'll be fine. So that's the plan. Hopefully it all works out like it's supposed to, but we'll find out. So Dad is loaded up. He's on his way over here to this field. Wanted me to drop those off there. We have enough in there for 40 acres. Those are our foliar feed products that we're putting on at this stage in beans development. He's got enough in his tank to do 80 acres, so he's going to perimeter this field. We've got a 13-acre field across the road he's going to spray, and then once he gets down to 40 acres of spray remaining in the tank, he'll add those in. We'll have a good side-by-side test. Just wanted to take a look at the beans here real quick. These were planted on May 15th, 15-inch rows. They're almost canopied, not quite, but we're getting close. You can see we do have a little bit of volunteer corn out here. See that cluster right there? There's a little bit of it scattered around. Not terrible, but there is some. So the problem with volunteer corn out here is that it's volunteer from the corn we were growing here last year, which was Roundup ready. which means that this volunteer corn is Roundup resistant, glyphosate tolerant, whatever you want to say. It's not going to die from the Roundup that we're spraying on the rest of this field. So we had some clethodim in, which is a grass herbicide that will kill that, won't touch the beans because it's a grass herbicide. So you can see we've got some other grasses growing here. The Roundup will kill that, the clethodim will help. These beans are starting to flower. They look decent. R1 beans, right on the verge of R1. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. V5 to R1, we'll call them. So they don't look too bad. Now the beans across the lane over there were planted on 427. They were quite a bit earlier than these because we got rained out before Phil could get this field planted. So I just was curious what the difference is. Pretty dang cool. Might take him a minute to get his computer set up. Cool. All right, go check these other beans and get out of here. Back in my air conditioning. Okay. I gotta. The air is so thick we have to swim through it. Oh my goodness. Look at what 2.5 weeks of planting date difference did for us. Look how much more canopied these are. I mean, you look out there and you can barely see the rows once you get out a few feet. These look totally different than the ones we were just in. And they look really good. And when we look down at them, lots more flowers. Lots more flowers. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fully expanded trifoliates with another one coming. So they've got a whole nother node on them, just a lot more flowers. They're just bigger, filled into rows. These are going to be better. No doubt about it. In my mind, these are going to be better. But they do look good. I'm happy. I wish they were taller. All our beans are short. Now, you guys know we were super dry all through the end of May, the first 2/3 of June, right? And now we've caught some rain since. We actually have had a little bit more rain here at Berkey than we did back at Waldron. So we're about 35 miles apart here. And I would guess we've had another close to an inch total in that time frame since the beginning of May here than what we got at Waldron. Spread out a little bit, but the crop's held on just a little bit better. It's heavier ground, holds the moisture better to start with, and we've had a little bit more rain. So things actually don't look too bad here. They look really good. Not even working. I'm standing out there.
So, got the grain cart done and the Gator done. So the next thing Nathan told me to do, while we're waiting for him to get back, is get the 9R out and hook it up to the ripper. After we harvest the wheat, if we're not planting double crops, then we're gonna rip it. Or anything going to corn next year, we're gonna rip this fall. So just like to get the ripper out and go through it, do it every year, but got some time now, so that's what we're gonna be doing today. Here's the big girl. Nice combine, 8430. Oh, it's a great barn to just walk into. I mean, I tell you, the boss. There it is, 8430. I mean, yeah, this is a nice barn, but we're gonna have to move the 8R first. But yep, this is what we're doing. Well, we're getting some seat time on the 4020. We got to move these red wagons out of the way, so we're just moving them over here by the dike so we can still get to them. But you got to make room so we can get to the ripper to hook it up. Well, here we are, we got it hooked up. We're gonna get it pulled up in front of the shop and just look over it, see if anything needs replaced, probably needs greased, but just gonna get it out, and that's what we're doing. Hot day. Well, here it is in all of its glory. Got it unfolded, cycled the hydraulics, so we lifted everything, set everything back down, unfolded everything. Just noticed some things here. We broke a shear pin there for that shank, so we must have hit a rock towards the end of it. That, whatever you want to call it, needs replaced. That one needs replaced. That one will need replaced. That one will need replaced. And then all the others look halfway decent, but we're gonna look it over, check the tire pressures, check the front gangs. If I'm not mistaken, last year we had some problems with these seizing up. This one seems fine. And there you go. I know it's not the best to do it with your bare hands, so I'm gonna get a pair of pliers and try to free it up. But yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do about these. There's just dirt falling out of it, but it's they're non-greasable, and they run in the not necessarily mud, but the dirt that just gets into the bearings, and it's no good on them. So we'll go through, see how many are bad, mark the ones that are bad, and see what Nathan wants to do. But these all look fine. Like I said, we'll check the bearings and stuff and just go through it.
Just got back, and Brock's got our disc ripper hooked up. Not that we're going to use it relatively soon, but because it needs to be gone through and looked at, and we were having some issues at the end of the last year that need to be fixed, so we're going to fix them. Looks like we need new ripper points on the majority of this. These are totally shot, so we have a set of those. We're going to put them on. We have lots of trouble with these closing discs every single year, with a bunch of them locking up. So Brock's got a vice grips. He's trying to free some of them up. Some of them turn, some of them don't. Some of them we can free up, some of them are going to have to get the bearings replaced, just the way that they are. So we'll go through that. One of these leveling lift system things was giving us some trouble. The computer or something, or a sensor, or somewhere it's not working right. I don't know if it's that valve right there, sensor, something. Looks like we need a seal kit in that cylinder. We got a bolt broke on that shank, so yeah, we'll go through some stuff here. These baskets are getting a lot of wear on them. Right in there. Dad's talked about welding the bar or something on there to kind of rebuild that edge. I don't know. It's probably a good idea because these are not cheap. See if we could find something. I don't know. He's getting them. Look at that. Okay, well, we had to do a little parts searching. I've got seal kits ordered for a cylinder. I've got a new hub coming for that one. We have one that we couldn't get broke loose, which, given our history with this system, that's pretty good, because we've had like 5 or 6 of these be tied up before that didn't work. It's a really crappy bearing design is what it is, because it gets dirt in here, and then they get locked up and they don't move, and it's a real pain. There's no grease zerks. There's no way to put grease zerks on them. It's not great. But we've got it working. You good? Brock got a new bolt put in our one shank that was tripped or broken there. It looks like we need some new shin guards, doesn't it? These wear shins right here are getting mighty thin. Did we flip those last year? I feel like we flipped those.
I've flipped them since I've worked here.
So is that... Where's the high wear point? Is it up here or is it right here? I would think it's right here. It does, but like that one there looks like it has been replaced, and then some of these other ones are pretty thin. I wonder if we should replace those. They are there to protect this shank so that it doesn't wear through that, because that's not what you want. So looks like Brock's got our worn out shanks or points pulled off. I think, Brock, we're going to pull off all of them and start with a whole new set. We'll keep these ones around for spares so that we have some good ones. Okay. What else? We got to check tires at some point. And, oh, this rolling basket. So obviously these have gotten a fair bit of wear. They're not totally shot and worn out yet. But to replace that rolling basket, I looked up the cost on them, new ones from Deere, which these are not, you know, they're not really a serviceable thing here. They're all welded one big piece, so you got to replace everything that spins there. That piece, to do all of it, would be a little over 10 grand. We can do some experimenting for 10 grand. So I think Dad might go and buy us some steel, like some bar stock or something, and try and weld it on here and just extend those out and see if that doesn't extend the life of them. I mean, worst case scenario, you do it and then you have to put new baskets on later, so it's worth a shot, I think. We'll have to take some measurements and get some stuff around, but yeah, I think that's what we're going to try there. The one closing discs. Now, okay, so we got to figure out what's going on with our computer stuff here. I need to go into cab and mess with it, see if that's going to work, see what's not, see what we need to do to make it work like it's supposed to. Looks like we need to go through our scrapers a little bit. They aren't all wore out, but that one's wore out. These ones got a little bit of life left in them, not a ton. We'll have to go through and check on those, see how many we need to do. Maybe just a couple the way it looks. So the disc ripper has True Set on it, which is Deere's kind of computerized tillage, which is a little bit ridiculous, but it works really well when it works, which it has most of the time. We had some issues with it last fall, although everything seems to be working right now. So Brock's trying to put ripper points on, so we're going to leave this go for right now, but we need to get it out and test it, being able to set it up and down, do a calibration, make sure everything's going to work, but I think we might be okay on that front. Yeah, so all these points here, they're totally wore out. Here, this one's cleaner. It used to look like this. Believe it or not, those are the same. You can see the wings are just totally gone. These are well past used up. We should have replaced them a while ago, but we couldn't get them last fall. I tried to get a set of these last fall and could not get them. That's why we have a few different ones on here. We had a set for our other disc ripper. We've got a 5-shank, 512, that I had a set of Deere points, and that's why we put those 5 on to get us through and just did what we had to do. But yeah, they're gone. The wings are gone, and so we're starting with a fresh set. We actually have 2 fresh sets of these, and should be enough to get us through the fall. So anyway, that's what we got. New bolts, new points. I filled up our DEF tank in the shop there. I need to mess with this fuel pump. Dad said it wasn't working earlier. It was not running, it was just humming like that. It's happened a couple years ago. I had to put a new run capacitor, start capacitor, something in there, so we need to look into that a little bit. I'll get to it in a minute. I have somebody here we gotta go talk to. All right, so this pump's not working. So I think it's an electrical issue. I think it's a capacitor. I took this cover off, nothing obviously wrong in there, so I'm taking these bolts off so we can pull this end cap, which I think should be loose, just needs to get pounded off of there. Ugh. Bad sign when I pop that off and we get a bunch of corrosion falling out. Yeah. That don't look good. Don't look good at all. It's not good. This one may be beyond repair. Ugh. All of these are corroded. We've got a ton of corrosion in here, including that band that holds that capacitor. That the only way I'm going to get that out of there is to cut it. There's corrosion on every bolt, fitting, wire. It's not looking good. Not looking good. Crap. Maybe time for a new pump. This one's been here for a while. I don't know if there's a date on it anywhere, but it's not new by any means. You can't read that, but the meter shows 338,000 gallons. That's a lot. It's taken a while to do that. Helping Phil change some air lines on the truck. A couple of braided lines. Go from the air dryer, or from the compressor down to the air dryer. Air hose is changed. We're letting it build some pressure just to pressure test everything, but it's the main line coming off of the compressor going down to the air dryer and into the tanks. And the fittings were rusty and stuff, but the concern was that crimp had cracked, so Phil threw a hose clamp on there, but yeah, that was no good. Okay, fuel line, or air line changed. I guess we don't need this out here. I was going to bring it out here for testing purposes to fill it up once I got the fuel pump fixed. I didn't get the fuel pump fixed. I was looking at options. We have, realistically, there's 3 different options. The cheapest, easiest, most cost-effective is to just put a straight replacement on exactly what we have here and replace it. May not be the best, but it's the cheapest, easiest, fastest. The other option is a different brand, a GPI brand. Has the same thing. It's another $500, but it was a different brand. It may or may not work better. I mean, this one, it's hard to argue that it's worked pretty well. And then the third option is to put like a 3-horse electric with a cast iron 2-inch pump that's like on our fuel trailer and do that. That may get us a little more flow, but we're highly limited by the 1-inch hose and nozzle that we have to use to fill everything. So I don't know that that would actually gain us much, and it would be almost double the cost. So probably not worth it. I'm gonna get this tractor put back inside. There is chances of rain tomorrow, and I don't need rain in the grain cart, so we got half a tank of fuel on this tractor. There's probably enough fuel in this tractor to do all of the wheat harvest here at Waldron. I would like to fill it up before we go to Berkey, so that's kind of our timeline on getting our fuel pump fixed. I've got enough fuel in the fuel trailer to run the combine through wheat harvest up here, so we'll be fine for a while. If it's first of the week before we get a pump and put it on there, it's not gonna hold us up. We'll be okay. It's time to go home, but before we go in for the night, we gotta go check our corn. It's it's perfect growing conditions for corn. Touch hot, but warm, sunny, humid. The corn's growing. Let's go find out how much. Starting with the soybean plant today because I was closer. This one doesn't look super healthy. I think the paint's killing it. Oh, we got some good growth down here though. Got some new green leaf tissue. Oh, look at that right there. Oh yeah. Look at all of that green. The next trifoliate expanding more. Same thing here. Yeah, it has definitely killed off these upper leaves. Kind of knew that was going to happen, but it is still showing the new growth. All right, not super impressive, but let's go look at the corn. All right, look at that. That's insane. We're sitting at 48, okay, 49 hours. I'm an hour late today. It's 6 o'clock instead of 5 o'clock. Look at that. All of that from everything you can see from here up to these tips is new growth. Like this leaf was clear down in there 2 days ago. That is a lot. That is a lot of new growth. Still some down here that's unrolling. Oh, it's crazy. That's awesome. That's how fast corn grows. All of it over here. Look at that. Wow. Okay. Oh, it's still muggy and hot out here. A little cooler than it was. We made it up to 90 or 91 today, which I know isn't that brutally hot, but it is humid and just sticky, thick air. All right, have a great night. I don't know what's going on tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Thursday. I don't know what's going on tomorrow. I don't think they're coming to Y Drop tomorrow. I think that's going to be on Friday, which will be really cool. So we'll see. Wheat harvest may start Friday. We'll see about that too. Maybe it's raining tomorrow. I'll be okay. That would be okay. If you have any questions, comments, make sure you leave them down below. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Go check out Farm Focused for your Borderview Farms merchandise. You can get there through my website, borderviewfarms.com, and click the shop link. It'll take you right to Farm Focused, to my page there. Check it out. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.